Here we are at one of our monthly maintenance customers' homes, and we're going to go ahead and do a regular inspection and take care of whatever we find. First thing I do whenever I walk onto a property is I immediately start looking for anything that's out of place. Any missing plants, any plants that look sick or ill, any piles of soil. We've been here for a couple years. I know this property is plagued with moles and gophers. There's also some rat issues. So I look along the edges for any sign of raised soil. Right here I have some indication of digging that I'll be checking out a little bit later. Whenever the soil's been stirred up or softened up, it's very likely been gophers or moles at work, and they love these sorts of succulents. As I'm walking in, I'm also just looking around the home. I'm looking for ants. I'm looking for any access points for rodents, just to let my customer know what's going on, because we know our customers don't have time or necessarily the eye to look at all pest issues. Here's some more raised soil, which I'll be checking out. Looks like mole activity. I'm looking at the health of the trees and the plants, general just overview of the yard. There's not a whole lot going on here today, some spider webs and such, which I'll let my customer know about. We can take care of that sort of thing. Now I have to get up into every bed and really look carefully, because you can't see every sign of pest issues just from a 100-yard view. You have to get up in here. I like to probe around and feel for tunnels and areas that look questionable. And now that I've been servicing the property for quite some time, I know the areas of usual activity. Gophers will move into old tunnel systems and reestablish them without making a lot of new piles, so it's not always super obvious. And it's important when we walk through the garden that we don't crush or destroy the customer's plants. We don't want to be as destructive as the gopher we're here to eliminate. Now, I feel the tunnel here quite easy. Very, very obvious mole. They travel the edges a lot. They're blind and they navigate by just bumping into the edges. But before I get started, I like to check the whole yard out so I know my plan of attack. Whenever I enter any gates, I make sure to close them behind me. Hate to lose a customer's dog. We never have. Plan on never will. So always latching gates. If I have to come in and out of a yard 5 times, I'm still going to latch the gate every time. I'm going to check out, we have some traps here from a previous visit. I'll be inspecting those and resetting them, but as you can see, very likely mole running along the edge of the fence. This is very typical of this animal. They run around, they can go from the backyard to the front yard many times a week. Moles don't eat plants. They're not looking for plants, they're looking for bugs. But a lot of times the bugs are living where the plants are. And so at first glance, I can't see any real areas of concern, but I know there's weed fabric underneath all this gravel. So if the mole or gopher is going to be popping up, it's going to be hidden underneath this weed fabric, and I'll have to do a little more careful inspection. But right away I see one of our number one concerns, which is moles getting in and around decomposed granite patios. This patio was put down with a fabric layer underneath, which will make it very hard for a mole to get into. But where we've set some traps here, the mole is bumped up against the steel edging and stirred up a lot of dirt. It's already started to contaminate the beauty of this patio. It's going to take a little work to clean it up. But the mole, as you can see, is even bumping up the weed fabric and exposing it as it runs right along this edge. But not to worry, we have traps set here, and we'll be setting more traps. It sometimes takes 2 or 3 trap sets to catch a mole, because they're very unpredictable in nature, and sometimes they'll go right around or underneath your traps. We see an apple tree. We know there's a history of rat issues here. A lot of landscape rats are feeding on fruit trees in the neighborhood. When it is fruit season, we often tell our customers, be sure to clean up all your dropped fruit, because you're only attracting rats and tree squirrels at that point. They're just a huge attractant for a lot of pests that you don't want around your yard. Raccoons and skunks as well. And our customer here backs up to a creek. This will be loaded with rats, skunks, raccoons, even ground squirrels. They'll travel up to these creek beds and come into a property like this and cause a lot of damage. This is an area of high pest pressure, and it's essential that properties like this are on a monthly maintenance program, because you're never going to get it pest free. You're always going to have some new animal intruding into the yard, but it's not impossible to have a beautiful yard with heavy pest pressure next door. We just have to keep on top of it with a maintenance program. We catch a rat or 2 a month on this property, and the customer's happy with just keeping them on the down low. We don't have rats in the structure. So this is one of our rat trap boxes. And I keep a trap in here baited with peanut butter as a common attractant. Rats love peanut butter, dried fruit. We like to use things that stay preserved for a good amount of time because we like to leave this, month by month. Again, I like to latch every gate as I go. I don't know, but I hate to be the one to leave a gate open and have some wildlife get into the vegetable garden. This is common when we're servicing vineyards and big vegetable gardens. If we were to leave a gate open, a deer could get in and eat the vegetables all day long while the customer's gone, and we'd be in big trouble. So in general, looking around the property, things are looking pretty good here. The moles are very active. That's common this time of year. It's springtime, and we're gonna have to set a bunch more traps. Now I'm satisfied I made a thorough inspection. I set a number of traps, and I've called out most of the issues that I have found on the customer's property. I've left a report card on the customer's porch, and before I come the next time, I will be giving my customer a call ahead of time to let them know we're on our way and to make sure they have an opportunity to point out anything of concern for our next visit.